Hello, welcome back, my favorite movement enthusiasts, to today's session of seated hip mobility, where we will be working on our hip mobility from a seated starting position. Now, this is for everyone who has been struggling with their hip mobility and find the more conventional exercises to be a little bit too difficult, or they have certain pains, injuries, or issues that keep them from working on their hip mobility. We will go through the easiest to replicate exercises, so even if you are impaired in any sort of way when it comes to that part, you can still follow along with most of those exercises. So if you're ready, let's have some fun. Now, starting with our very first, very simple exercise, all we want to do is sit up fully upright, put our hands right beside our upper body and extend both legs in front of us. We're going to go through bent leg raises or leg pull-ins, working a little bit on our hip flexor, quadriceps and lower abdominal strength, all together in one simple single movement. Pull in as closely as you can, and if you want to increase your range of motion in this movement, you can go a little bit into an external hip rotation, giving you a bit more space to pull that leg way closer to your upper body. Extend, put it down fully, pull in and repeat on the other side. We're gonna go for 4 more repetitions. So our right side, pull in very closely, extend, pull in left side, extend, and one more time for the right side, all the way in, reverse, and all the way in, left side, and reverse. Now, adding just the tiniest bit more difficulty to this exercise, we're gonna open up our legs the slightest bit, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, keep our upper body in the same starting position, and we're gonna elevate those legs in an extension, which means that our quadriceps and our hip flexors, as well as our lower abdominals, will be completely flexed when raising. We wanna bring that foot all the way up to hip joint height before we release and repeat on the other side. Now, we're also pointing our toes, going into some ankle extension to strengthen our calf musculature as well, and including some of our foot musculature in this movement. Once again, we're gonna go for 6 more repetitions. Right leg all the way up, reverse, left leg all the way up, reverse, and right side. Keep it as extended as you can, left side as extended as you can. And now the last repetition, we're gonna hold statically for 3, 2, 1, reverse, and 3, 2, 1, and reverse. Now, before we move on to the next exercise, we're gonna use this comfortable sitting position to loosen up a little bit. Pull your left leg, put it on your right leg, and we're gonna start pushing our left knee outwards, an external rotation in our hip towards the ground. We're just gonna hold for a handful of seconds, namely 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, and repeat on the other side. Pull that right leg in and start pushing your knee towards the ground, holding for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, extend both of those legs, point your toes, and we're gonna start with an upright upper body, extending both arms, and we're gonna move diagonally to the left foot, sit up all the way, and switch to the right side. Now, keep your legs as extended as possible. We're working on our flexibility in our posterior chain, specifically our biceps, our hamstrings, our glutes, and the tiniest bit in our spinal erectors, loosening up the musculature surrounding our hips, which in turn is going to help us loosen up our hip joints over time. Left side, all the way up, right side, all the way up, and we have 2 more repetitions, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and this time we're gonna pull down towards the floor in the middle, keeping our legs extended, and we're just gonna hold down here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Because we're gonna switch starting positions, just like so. And we're gonna do one of my favorite seated hip mobility exercises, what I call the turnaround. All we wanna do is use what we did in the first two exercises, strengthening our hip flexors and our quadriceps and our lower abdominals, and raising that leg over our seat before we switch directions, right side, left side, turn sideways all the way. Keep your upper body as upright as possible, which is gonna make it a little bit harder to raise your leg as well. Switch sides, turn fully, and reverse the movement. To the right side, turn, and repeat. To the left side, and turn. Now you don't have to go for the same speed that I am using. If you wanna work a little bit slower, or you want to work a little bit faster, it's totally up to you. You can pause the video at any given moment, repeat an exercise a little bit more often if it feels better than the other exercises, and you can even leave some of the exercises out if they cause you pain or if you do not enjoy them. So we're gonna go for 2 more repetitions. Raise and turn sideways all the way, and final one, raise, turn sideways all the way, and reverse into our starting position. Because we will be moving directly from here, we're gonna open up our legs a little bit further into external rotation in both hip joints. Bring your hands behind your head, go into at least a neutral spinal position or the tiniest bit of spinal extension in our lower back musculature, and we're gonna hinge from our hip, keeping our back extended and only going as low as we can before we notice our back rounding. Meaning if this is happening to you, then you are already way too far down. Keep your back fully extended and only go as far as you can without your back going into a rounded position. Down and all the way up. Keep it extended. Work your way closer with your chest parallel to the ground, hinging only in your hip, and reversing once more. Now this exercise feels absolutely amazing. My adductors and the inside of my thighs. While it also helps you work a little bit on strengthening and controlling your lower back musculature, which in turn is also going to help you release some tension if you have any there. All the way down, all the way up, and we're going to go for 2 more repetitions. Closer and closer and closer to the ground, all the way up. And final repetition, closer, closer, and closer. We're gonna hold down here for 3, 2, 1, and sit up all the way. And once again, the change in our starting position is going to be minimal. We're gonna extend one leg on our elevation, on our seat, and all we're gonna do from here is pull our foot in actively, staying as upright as we can in our upper body and going into external rotation in the same knee, pushing actively towards the ground before we set that leg up again and extend it. Now we're only gonna go for 4 repetitions for each side. Pull in, external rotation, push down actively, set it back up and extend. Only 2 more reps for the left side. Pull in, externally rotate, actively push down, reverse, and extend. And going for our final repetition, we're gonna pull in, rotate externally, and now we're gonna help out the tiniest bit with our hand pushing our knee closer and closer and closer to the ground. We're gonna hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, put that leg down, and we're gonna switch it up. 4 repetitions on the other side. Right leg extended, actively pull it in, keep your upper body fully upright, go into an external rotation, push your knee down actively, reverse the movement, and extend. Pull in using your hip flexors, quadriceps, and lower abdominals. Externally rotate using your abductors and your thigh musculature and glute musculature. Reverse the movement and extend using your quads once more. 2 more repetitions. Pull in, externally rotate, elevate, extend, and final repetition. Pull in, externally rotate. And this time, once again, we're gonna help out the tiniest bit, pushing down with our hand for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And that's basically it for today's hip mobility session. We kept it very replicable, so if you have any problems, chances are you will still be able to go through most of these exercises. However, if you do have pain in any of those exercises, chances are it is not the right exercise for you. With that said, sadly, once again, that's all the time I've left for you today. If you like the video and subscribe, and please check out other videos on this channel because we literally have new ones every single day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Captain Cairo. Peace out.